Good morning from Klaipeda. So I decided yesterday to be spontaneous, which sometimes is a great idea, and when it works out you can feel really pleased about yourself. In the afternoon I decided, okay, even though I definitely am not going down to the bottom of the Curonian Spit, I'm not going to Nida, I'm only going to make a video and visit Jordkranta. I changed my mind. And because I changed my mind spontaneously, I didn't have two full batteries for my camera, which meant that towards the end of my stay in Nida, the 4 hours I was there went reasonably quickly, and I just didn't have the opportunity with the camera to film some of the additional attractions that exist in the settlement. For example, you may remember there was an artist who reinstated some of the decorative wooden grave markers in the old historic cemetery in Nida. That man has a house museum which you can go and visit. It's in exactly the same neighbourhood as an artist's colony, which if you're an artist or if you appreciate art, you might appreciate the fact that there's a colony there. You can go and see artists at work or just see examples of what they do. Perhaps you might be even inclined to inquire whether you can take a class. What else was there in Nida that I couldn't cover because I was out of battery juice? If you feel like taking a boat trip out of Nida, they cost, generally from what I was seeing, €12 for an hour per person. There were also some additional little small museums which I didn't cover. There was a quick look I think I was able to film of the fisherman's homestead, just a very quick snippet on a video. And there's also another little historic Curonian Spit lifestyle of the local Karelian peoples type museum there as well. Therefore I was caught out a little bit with my pants down, so to speak, due to lack of capacity with the camera. As a result, I also wasn't really able to film a "That's all folks, goodbye from Nida, until the next time will be a day trip to Palanga." Yes, we've already been up to Palanga, but we went up to Sventoy, spent so long in Sventoy, didn't really have time to come back to Palanga in the same day, and we didn't really have time to do Palanga justice. So, different day, different video, and this one will be dedicated solely to Palanga. Waiting for my trusty microbus number 31, which I think is running. Just bear in mind, probably goes without saying, because it's the weekend and especially Sunday, there is a little bit of a difference in times of the buses. There are seldom more connections on a Sunday, are there? So just double check your times for getting up to Palanga. I'm going on the 10:15 microbus. That little marshrutka, which served me well the other day, and it goes from bus stand number 6. And while I'm talking about Nida, I should add also something to bear in mind. Definitely in the summer, even if it's only an hour ahead of time, go and buy your bus ticket. If you haven't already bought a bus ticket online for departure from Nida on the weekend in the summer, then definitely you need to do so. Otherwise you'll be standing on the bus as they were yesterday, or you might find there's not space at all for you on the bus, and then you're waiting an hour for the next bus. But if you're out of luck and you're trying to get on that last bus but there's not even standing room, I don't know what people get up to in July and August. It might get a bit a bit hairy, especially when there are jazz festivals. Another point worth mentioning, now I think of it, prices, huge variance. As you might expect, when there's something on in town, prices go up a lot. So if you want to visit this part of the world and you're not interested in jazz and you want to visit Nida, make sure in advance the Nida Jazz Festival is not going on, because otherwise, if you want to stay over there, prices will be high. And it might be that if you're using public transport, it's a very tricky day out to organise. I'm going to stand at stand number 6, stand number 7 during the week, but on the weekend it's stand number 6 in theory for my little bus. Yesterday was Saturday. I took the 9 o'clock in the morning ferry from Klaipeda to Smiltene. The ticket was €1.50. What I didn't realise until I was actually coming back and about to board, returning to Klaipeda on the 6:15 ferry in the afternoon, of course I remembered, that's right, that €1.50 ticket is valid as a return ticket. Nobody checks the ticket coming back. Everybody assumes, well, if you're visiting the Curonian Spit, you've got to pay to get across anyway. Therefore, nobody checks coming the other way when you leave. So hold on to that €1.50 ticket, which you pay to go across, just in case somebody should ask when you're coming back from Smiltene. There's always a first time for everything, isn't there? So that was nice. It felt like I saved €1.50. That 9 o'clock ferry tied up nicely with the 9:15 bus service, which got me down to Jordkranta something like 9:45. Then I spent 2.5 hours, yes, it must have been 2.5 hours, roaming around Jordkranta, very much focused on Witches Hill. And because there were a few things I wanted to do which didn't seem realistic on the day, that meant I was going to be returning to Klaipeda much sooner than I had anticipated. Therefore, I spontaneously decided to jump on a bus down to Nida. The ticket from Smiltene to Jordkranta had cost me €3. It was then €4 for a ticket from Jordkranta to Nida, and the same in reverse. So €14 plus €1.50 for the ferry. The transportation costs were $15.50. Not the most expensive day out you're likely to have. For me, it was rather one of the more expensive days out, to be truthful. We didn't pay for anything that we went and saw and did. Everything was free, from the entrance to Witches Hill, to see all those marvellous sculptures, to the walk in the fresh sea air, harbourside in Nida as well, and the walk through the Valley of Silence and up the cognitive path to the top of the big sand dune with the obelisk, the views, the photograph opportunities. All that was free. So was the sight of all the weather vanes and the other old attractive decorative pieces and the murals on the walls of a cafe building. So it really was just transportation costs. I like a relatively cheap day out. Oh, my bus to Palanga's coming. I better say, cheery bye. Palanga, here we come.